Hi, folks. So great to see everybody. Thank you so much for attending our session on learning to love your own voice through our AI series. We're really trying to give people some bite-sized strategies for navigating generative AI in our courses. I am Catalin Wargo, and I'm joined here by my colleague, Mike Bloom.
Hey, folks.
And today we're going to be talking about four things. Mike, can you go to the next slide?
Mhm.
Thanks so much. So first, we're going to discuss just the value of human voice in writing and writing assignments. And then we'll talk a little bit about the interplay of generative AI and the human voice and what that means for writing assignments. We'll talk about some ways that we can lean on generative AI and still maintain human voice in writing. And then we'll walk through a sample assignment that we think does that pretty well. So what I'd love to do is just provide an opportunity, since we're talking about voice anyway, to let you exert some of your voice in this question. We don't want to just sit here and tell you what to do. You obviously have some meaningful perspective to add to this conversation. So what makes the human voice unique and relatable? Love to do a waterfall activity here. So if you can open up your chat window and respond to that question. But while you're typing, just hold on, don't hit enter. And in just about 30 seconds, once everyone's had a chance to answer that question, I'll have people enter. Okay, so what makes the human voice unique and relatable? And just hold that return key for a couple more seconds as people are typing. All right, go ahead and hit enter. All right. We said everyone has a different perspective, which makes it unique to listen to each piece of writing or speech. It's unique and relatable. People have very different experiences. It expresses a personality. People have different backgrounds. We can express empathy or a conversational tone with vocabulary that encourages connections. We have our own perspectives and experiences and influences over our voices, though there are some shared experiences that are relatable. The fact that everyone has a different background and beliefs and informs how and why they write and speak. Excellent. Okay. So I see a lot of people talking about being able to draw upon the human experience in communicating our ideas, and being able to tell stories that are relatable. I think I would also add that there's that emotive element, being able to communicate human emotion through our voice is really important to make a story or a message relatable to others. Excellent, Mike. Next slide. Okay. One of the reasons why this is such an issue when we think about generative AI is because fundamentally, generative AI systems collect a ton of data in order to produce the most statistically likely answer, right? So when we think about writing and we think about voice, voice is almost the opposite of what would be that statistically most likely answer. And so when we're using generative AI in order to form our entire argument or form our entire message, what we're doing is we're contributing to the homogenization of that collective human voice, right? So it's problematic because it's taking what is already most likely, leaving out the stories, experiences that are maybe on the periphery or in the margins or those unique kinds of voices and enhancing what is already more mainstream. So it's really essential that as we move forward through writing and into the writing process, that we understand that that's fundamentally what generative AI is doing, is it is driving everything towards what is most likely. So we're losing a lot if we just rely on it solely to create our entire argument. Okay. Go ahead, Mike.
Okay, you should be there. We're gonna have the poll is next.
Okay. So just wanting to think, where do we think it's acceptable to use generative AI in the writing process then, considering the homogenization of language and voice, but also thinking about how it can help to further support us in that process. All right. It's looking like people have said that it's okay to use it to maybe choose a topic or to narrow the topic. Um, less likely for brainstorming, maybe for a little bit of research. Sounds like some summarizing of choices or drafting and outlining is not as acceptable for folks. Drafting, we have 0% of people saying it's okay for drafting. And then a little less likely for editing, revising, and fine-tuning an argument. Right?
So I'm going to take over a little bit here. We've got some possibilities of when you might think about using AI and when you might think about having AI collaborate with your assignment and your student voices. Now, keep in mind that everything that we say from here on in is just an example of an assignment that you could possibly offer. So some of those areas where we think that enthusiastically you could use AI is in narrowing a topic, and I think that was borne out by the poll and in research, gathering possible sources. So we're going to offer a concept of how AI can kind of merge with the individual student voice here. And you can take or leave it for, what it's worth. But the idea is that in general, if you're going to use AI and you're going to kind of merge that with a student assignment and the student voice, is to have some opportunity in your assignment to have the student free write, maybe in class, whatever, to give their own perspective on things. And then to see what the AI search engine might do to advance those ideas, and then to have the student kind of reflect on the differences between those two things. So student's voice, AI, creation, and then reflection are kind of the three key pieces. So what we've got here is a sample scaffolded assignment. This is a semester-long assignment that you could adapt to use in any way that you see fit. But the idea is to blend a certain amount of students' own voice with AI and a combination of group work as well. So let's talk about what that looks like. So this is a 9-step personal connection essay that we have kind of imagined, and I've got an example. I've got the full sample that I'll share with everyone here, and I've also got an example of what that looks like in a Blackboard course. So the overview is that we've got a 9-stage scaffolded assignment, and for each scaffold, what we include is the purpose of that particular scaffold, the task that's going to be involved, the criteria that it's going to be judged on, and the skills that you're hoping that the students develop. So we've got 9 different things. We start with a personal reflection that does not use any AI. And let me go ahead and pull up the Blackboard assignment to show you what that looks like. So I've got here a Blackboard course that I've created where I've embedded this assignment, Learning to Love Your Own Voice. And we start with an explanation of the personal connection essay. By completing this scaffolded assignment, you will have developed a range of critical academic skills, from personal reflection to research and writing. You'll also gain experience in judiciously using AI tools to support your work while maintaining your own voice and ideas. Right? Each step builds upon the previous ones, allowing you to see how a complex writing project comes together from initial idea to polished final product. And we've got each of these assignments kind of laid out for the students in Blackboard. And the faculty member can choose to just make these completed or not completed, so that the faculty member can choose whether they're going to grade this particular assignment or use it as a talking point in the next class. So you can choose how much grading is involved in this scaffolded assignment. So we've got a personal reflection, and I'll click on that. And we can see how that's kind of laid out. So the purpose is to identify a meaningful personal connection to the course material and begin the writing process. So you're basically asking the student to connect what they've done to the course. And you've got the task laid out, as well as the criteria. And you can create your own rubrics for these. But then what we really love is that we've got a transparent assignment design where we tell students why they're doing it, what they're going to be doing, how they're going to be judged, and then why they're doing it, what the skills that they're going to develop are going to be. Right. And we tell them that there's no AI. This can be something that you do in class. And since there are so many assignments, you're thinking, my God, 9 assignments for a particular, for one total assignment. The really great thing about having 9 assignments is that these are small stakes assignments. And as I said, you don't need to grade each of these. You can choose which ones you'll actually give a grade to. You can choose which ones that you might bring up in class as a reflection piece. You can choose which ones you're going to actually create a group activity for during class. As a matter of fact, the collaborative topic number 2, which builds on that personal reflection, is designed as some group work. And if I click on that, you'll see the purpose of that is to refine that topic, that student connection to the course material through peer discussion and feedback. And it goes ahead and says in your assigned groups, you share your personal reflections, and you'll discuss each other's topics and help students narrow down those fields. Right. And we've got the criteria and we've got the skills developed there as well. The dramatic question development, we're saying, go ahead and use AI for the dramatic question. You can choose not to, however you want to do it. But this seems like a possible area where you might want AI to join in and give the students some opportunity to see what AI can come up with. And again, it's basically telling you what to do, the purpose of it, the task involved. Then there's free writing, where there's no AI involved. And since students are submitting each of these individually, the opportunity for them to really say, okay, I'm going to use my own voice here because I know I'm going to be able to use AI later on to develop those ideas. It frees students up to really share their own voice. It also allows the faculty member to go back and take a look at how does the free writing change when they have gone ahead and done a draft. So the next one is identifying research needs using AI. That seems like a reasonable thing to use AI for. source summary and integration. So that is something that we think could be a combination of AI and student voice, where students are taking that research and doing basically an annotated bibliography about what those sources might look like. And again, we're talking a full semester project here. This isn't something that you'd want to do for one writing assignment. You could pick and choose your number of scaffolded assignments if this were a smaller assignment. Then the essay outline, we're thinking that that could also be a place where AI can be used as a brainstorming tool, but the final outline should primarily reflect the student's own thinking and organization. And then the first draft would be the student's own work, and the final essay could be a combination of the student's own voice and what AI thought of the student voice. And at any point in this process, it's a really easy thing to do to ask students to reflect on what their own voice had to offer and what the AI had to offer, and get them to really be specific about those concepts. So you can see the full sample. Not only can I share that Blackboard site with everyone, but I've also got the full sample here in a Google Doc where I've got the entire thing laid out. And as a matter of fact, as a matter of transparency, you'll see that I had AI help with this creation of this assignment. So if you want, you can take a look down, and I'll share this with everyone who's here. You can take a look down at the bottom of the assignment, and you'll see that the assignment was created with assistance from perplexity.ai, and it shows you the exact prompt that I wrote to help come up with that assignment. And each of the scaffolded pieces, what I wanted students to focus on, what part I wanted AI to play. And the great thing about that is Perplexity came up with some ideas, and then I went and I refined those ideas to actually create the completed assignment. And you can go ahead and pick and choose what you want to use and change that as you see fit. And let me go ahead and go to the next slide. So anyway, first of all, we'll open it up to questions and comments. If this is something that you may have tried before, if this is something that you're interested in trying, if this is something that you're against trying because you are afraid of, maybe having students go down the slippery slope of using AI, but we'd love to hear your own questions. And if you have time, we would also love for you to take that last poll, how confident you feel engaging students in writing assignments that maintain the human voice in light of generative AI. If you were going to try something like this, where you're actually creating a scaffolded assignment that's got lots of different moving parts and has lots of opportunities for the student to inject their own voice, but then also to be checked by the AI tools so that they never get too far away from knowing that they have to supply their own content, but that there are the AI tools to kind of help them along the way.
Hey, Mike, can you put the poll up and pull
Yeah, I'm going to put the poll up right now.
Thank you.
And like I said, it's not for every project. It's definitely a thing that an assignment that you can do if you really want students to evaluate using AI. There are lots of things that you can do that would allow students to not use AI at all. That would work really well with this type of assignment. Having the key to that is to demystify the one big assignment and to have lots of opportunities for students to submit along the way. And if every single mini assignment, scaffolded assignment, is worth very little, you kind of take away the high stakes necessary for the students to want to cheat or to want to like get that extra help from an AI bot.
All right,
we'd love to have
any thoughts? Yeah. Thoughts or questions?
Yeah, Leah.
Leah.
Yes, a great presentation. Um, Very sort of the scaffolding is like a really good guideline. Um, my question is, um, I don't really know if the students are using AI at each stage. So I'm sure this is kind of what a question everybody is asking, but I guess, yeah, I mean, it makes students more comfortable and give them a better idea of where to use it and where not to use it so that they don't have to worry too much about so that they are more likely to follow the suggestions.
Right, yeah. So the thing that we love about a process like this is it really does elevate the student voice as something to be kind of valued and respected. And if they start with that, if they start connecting their own observations, their own experiences, their own questions to the material, it makes it harder for them to not have a good idea about what they want to say and how they want to say it.
Mhm.
I think as well, just being really clear and explicit with students about what the expectations are and why is really helpful for students to be able to align with that. And, if there's a comfort level there, maybe co-constructing some of those norms and having students generate where they think it might be appropriate to use generative AI and why and how it might be helpful or not helpful to their own writing and in developing their own voices. I think that gives them a sense of agency in the
Mhm.
process and really helps them to think critically about why we use AI in some aspects of the work that we do and why it's not appropriate in other aspects.
Okay. Yeah, so agency and clarity.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.